And just like that, we are 50 episodes old of the Enterprise Joy podcast, Enterprise Strategies for Leaders in Under 5 Minutes. I'm Vishal, your mover and shaker of making collaboration less about late-night heroics and more about a sustainable rhythm. This week, we are exploring the orchestration of excellence across silos. And so far, we have diagnosed silos, built shared outcomes, and redesigned teams for flow. However, even the best designed pods and scorecards fail when people don't feel safe to speak up. That's what we cover today: psychological safety and boundary spanning rituals. Amy Edmondson's classic research shows that psychological safety, or the belief that it's okay to take interpersonal risks, is what separates learning teams from stagnant ones. This was also the primary findings of Google's Project Aristotle. Of all the factors that predicted high performance, psychological safety was on the top of the list. In a nutshell, teams where people can admit mistakes, ask naive questions, or flag risks without fear, they simply perform better. And building psychological safety doesn't require grand gestures. It starts with how leaders frame the work, for example, calling it a learning challenge. And it expands when leaders model fallibility themselves. And it sustains when every voice is deliberately invited. For example, a quick round where everyone speaks once before anyone speaks twice. These little cues tell people that it's safe to contribute here. Feeling safe becomes the first step to reach across boundaries. Silos don't vanish just because we wish them to go away. They vanish by spanning. Research shows that teams that deliberately bridge outward by collecting information and building relationships across functions, they usually outperform those that stay inward. The Center of Creative Leadership calls this boundary spanning, and it's critical for solving enterprise-scale problems. The trap, however, is that too often, this is left to the heroic few, that one manager always pulling strings across departments. That's not sustainable. The smarter move is to create spanning rituals. Here are a few examples. Once a week for 15 minutes, every pod shares one new dependency, one resolved issue, and one risk. Having a first among equals rotating facilitator can ensure that meetings don't become hierarchy driven. And this simple ritual surfaces issues early, and because it's routine, people don't feel that they are escalating. Another ritual could be a retrospective right after a release or a milestone. Ask 3 questions. What did we expect? What happened? What will we do differently? Studies have shown that teams who run regular retrospectives improve performance by more than 20%. What can also help is running a demo of the whole journey every 2 weeks. You can invite peers, adjacent teams, and ask them only for feedback on the cross-team flows and customer impact. This creates alignment without finger pointing. Together, these rituals shift collaboration from firefighting to cadence, where issues surface early and trust builds over time. So here's what you do today. Schedule a dependency huddle with your pod. Run a short retrospective after your next delivery. Begin your next team meeting by asking, what's one uncertainty we should surface this week? If even one new risk comes up that would have stayed hidden otherwise, that's your proof that you are on the correct path. And if it does, write to me on podcast@enterprisejoy.com. I would love to hear your story. Tomorrow, we'll take the final steps, metrics that melt the silos. We'll talk about how a handful of well-chosen measures, like end-to-end customer outcomes, paired with system flow metrics like lead time or change fail rate, can force silos to look beyond their walls and into enterprise outcomes. That's all for today. My name is Vishal, and you were listening to the Enterprise Joy podcast, Enterprise Strategies for Leaders in Under 5 Minutes. Build your safe and sustainable rhythm today. I'll see you tomorrow.